Are we sure the hobby's getting smarter? Are we positive? Mm, I have my questions. Neo Cards and Comics here. YouTube stuff down below. We're going to talk about WWE Prizm today a little bit. As an example of, is the hobby actually getting smarter or not? I'll call him friend of the channel. He's never been on the channel, but I talk to him relatively frequently because I'm Carlos. I will link to the channel down below. Has done 2 recent videos on WWE Prizm and its comparison to the older Topps Chrome product and some shill bidding and some other stuff going on. I encourage you to check those out. He did some great comparisons and some research on it. So I'm going to paint with a little bit of a broader brush here. WWE Prizm kind of shows that, yes, the hobby has gotten a little smarter, but we're not quite, smoking the SATs at this moment. Yeah, in some ways we have, the filtering away from base cards and investing money in base, chasing low-end retail product and stuff like that. That sort of stuff shows that people smartened up a little bit, probably because they got burned most likely. And also, shout out to the content creators out there that put out educational videos and, kind of explain what's going on and things like that, stuff we do here, and plenty of other great content creators out there that have done a lot of education the last few years in this space. But on the flip side, you see something like WWE Prizm come out. And once again, we're going to kind of focus on this as the example for this. WWE, massive product, massive following. Everyone, I feel like everyone's been touched by it in some point in time in their life, whether you grew up with Hulk Hogan and Macho Man and the Ultimate Warrior, or you came up during the Attitude Era or the Monday Night Wars, or the more modern times. I feel like most people have had some sort of interaction with professional wrestling, even if for just a brief period of time. And we're all going to have different touchstones for that. So I completely understand why WWE cards would be popular, have a lot of appeal to them. What's crazy to me is the distances or the gulfs between Prizm and how much hype is built around it, and how much people don't really seem to care about Topps Chrome. And it's not necessarily that Topps Chrome it's not a low-end product. Topps Chrome is extremely well respected. Myself, Flipping Steve, and Sports Cards Anonymous had a very interesting debate about this on Friday night's live stream of whether Fanatics even needs Prizm as a license when they have Topps Chrome already, and if that would be overkill. And my entire point is yeah, they don't need it, but if they could get it, they're going to get it. They're not going to fail without it. But if you could get it, you go get it, because we see the Prizm effect. It's playing out right here in front of our eyes with WWE Prizm. I have recent sales up there. They're going for about $1,200 to $1,300 a box. Some singles are going for extremely high prices. And it's almost doesn't have anything to do with the fact that it's WWE. It just has to do with the fact that it's Prizm next to WWE. And this is where we're just not getting smarter. WWE Prizm is a microcosm of the current hobby / sports card, non-sports card, entertainment card, whatever you want to call it, industry, where the hype machine gets a cranking. And boy, is it working overtime on this one. The hype machine gets cranking. You saw it about a week before. People started posting on, a couple boxes got out. People started posting on Twitter, IG. Oh my goodness, these cards are fantastic. They look amazing. Look at this, look at that. Holy cow. And the hype machine gets pumping. Pumping. And then that gets the ball rolling. The pre-sale prices come out, $8.50 a box. Then they hit the first off the line thing comes out. Then a few more photos start to hit. And then WrestleMania is happening at the same time. Perfect release, Panini. How the hell you can't get us football and basketball products on time? But boy, oh boy, can you time the WWE Prizm release just perfectly with WrestleMania. How the hell does that work? Where are my Evan Mobley rookie cards? Where is our Trevor Lawrence Prizm Silver? What the hell are you guys doing? You can't get that stuff out, but boy, you can get this out. You nailed that release date, didn't you? Side tangent. So the hype machine's a pumping. It's well timed with WrestleMania, putting a lot of eyes. WrestleMania is the one time a year where I dip into a YouTube clip rabbit hole just to kind of see what's going on. Oh, Stone Cold's going to stun someone. Okay, I'll watch that clip. And once again, just continuing into this hype machine, whether they planned on it or not, the hype machine is cranking. First off the line thing happens, then the box is released, then the breaks start happening, and then you start seeing. Then the next thing that happens, the next wave is, and no offense to breakers, but then the breakers start. I'm going to say the hype machine. I don't want to say the pump machine because I hate throwing around that word. But they just kick up the hype machine. It's in their best interest to hype this product, to get people to buy into breaks, to keep, whether even if it's not necessarily buying into their breaks, it's important for all these other market influencers, whether it's the breakers, hobby shops, flippers, whatever. It's in everyone's best interest to keep the hype machine rolling on this product because it keeps the sealed wax prices inflated, thus causing breaks more expensive to buy into, thus potentially inflating the singles prices, and on down the line. The interesting thing with all this is let's not forget, WWE Prizm has a retail release. So the people going out of their minds for like base cards and even silvers and some of the more common colored parallels, there is going to be a whole nother wave of retail. And I have a feeling that this stuff is not lightly printed. I don't think this is a Topps Chrome F1 situation or even a UFC Prizm situation where not a lot of it was printed. They kind of saw what happened with UFC Prizm, and I think they kind of knew this one potentially was going to hit pretty big and be hyped to the moon. All of this is my example of how the hobby is still not really all that smart. The fact that we continue to fall prey to this sort of stuff. And once again, I'm painting with an extremely broad brush here. Not everybody. Plenty of smart people have kind of seen through this and been like, wait a second, why are these selling for this when better versions in some cases, not all, but in some cases, better versions of this are sitting out there in Topps Chrome versions of these cards, whether it's refractors, autos, golds, numbered stuff, whatever. And once again, this is no shade on the product. I do think WWE Prizm is a cool product. Hell, I was going to try to rip a box, but my one LCS that got it in stock was pretty high priced on it. I almost bought one online and just decided against it at the last minute. I myself, so I guess I see how this can happen. You know, I consider myself somewhat intelligent in the card / collectible space. I almost fell victim to FOMO on this and pulling the trigger on it to rip one. Now, I have a little bit of a different angle on it. I could buy one. I could use it to make content. There's a whole different aspect to that needs to be considered when someone like me rips one of these versus the average person just ripping one at their kitchen table. I get content out of it. I can record the box opening. Then I can record the PSA submission for the stuff I get out of the box. Then I can record the PSA return video for the things coming back. I could live stream it. I could clip something out of the live stream. Potentially a single box opening could turn into anywhere from 3 to 4 videos. Now, we don't make a ton, as YouTube content creators, as a mid to small size channel, maybe I make 30 to 40 bucks on a video, but those add up and slowly help offset the cost of a box. So suddenly an $850 box, because I get 3 to 4 videos out of it, now is maybe only actually costing me $650. So you can see how that kind of shifts the math a little bit. For me specifically, that's a very in the weeds thing. But keep that in mind when you're seeing people rip this stuff on channels. There is that aspect of it. Even if they're paying full price for the box, there is a little bit of a backside offset to that. But like I said, myself, someone that I would consider at least moderately intelligent in this space, I almost fell victim to this. I was like, oh man, WWE, the WrestleMania's on, Stunners. I've been watching D-Generation X videos all week on YouTube. Let me get in there and rip some of this. And then I just kind of, it was one of those moments, I've kind of talked about this before. I just kind of stepped away from the computer for a little bit and I'm like, time out. I see where this is heading and it's going to lead to a bad decision. And I just stepped away. I was like, nope, just closed everything down, shut the lid on the laptop, put the iPad away, put the phone away, and just kind of walked away for a little bit, cleared the headspace, and realized what was happening. So just kind of keep this in mind as we see these hype cycles come and go, especially on new releases. How we just saw it with Zero Cool V Friends. The same exact situation happened. And then there's the whole, I haven't even got into the singles side of this yet, which because I'm Carlos does a good job breaking down, where a lot of that stuff, a lot of the sales out there are legit. There are strong, legitimate sales for WWE Prizm singles. There are also a lot of fake sales going around for WWE Prizm. Specifically, the big one this week that kind of racked the hobby was the Color Blast, the John Cena Color Blast, which is just as big of an indictment on eBay as anything else. The fact that someone could commit to bid to it. The guy ran a longer auction. Someone committed to bid for it for $11K. And then once the auction ended, was like, I'm not paying for this. One sold for $7K. I can't justify this price anymore. That's not how it should work. If you place a bid on an item, that should be a contractual obligation that you are to purchase that item. That's how it works at a real world auction house. If I'm in an auction house bidding on an item with my little paddle, I don't get to back out of that. There's major consequences for backing out of that. eBay says they're working on it. Please work faster. That is a massive problem in the industry right now. Auctions not being held to actually purchase it, buyers. And then also the side aspect of that sale showing up as a sold listing on eBay sold results. Because then that makes it look like a comp. Yes, some of the data tools filter that stuff out, all this and that. But how many people in this space actually use Card Ladder or Market Movers or Alt or one of the others? How many are just pulling up eBay and looking at sold listings, or maybe going an extra step and checking 130 point? I think the percentages would probably surprise you. Once again, as much as we like to say the hobby's getting smarter, it's gotten a little smarter. Little bit. Little teeny tiny bit. But it hasn't gotten super smart yet. And WWE Prizm is a perfect example of that. That's all I got for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. Go check out Because I'm Carlos's 2 videos that he did on this. I'll link to him down below. Catch you guys and girls on the next one. Peace.